Many businesses get confused with the differences between CRM and marketing automation, so let me help you out. A CRM gives businesses a complete view of their leads, prospects, and customers. CRM is often owned by sales, where marketing automation is owned by marketing. The two tools work in tandem. Marketing automation is used to manage campaigns, create assets such as landing pages and emails, and manage the programs those leads create. When the two tools are used together, they have three very powerful outcomes. The first is visibility. The CRM is a database where sales inputs data, such as calls, emails, and meetings. The marketing automation platform adds to that the individual interactions from the prospect, such as which content did each person look at or which emails did they open. This data gives sales the critical visibility to know who to talk to, when, and what about. The second is automation. Marketing automation tools allow businesses to create truly personal customer journeys. The automations know exactly what to send, to whom, and when. Once the leads have been passed over to sales, the connection between the two tools is still strong. Marketers can create other automated programs sales can deploy directly from within the CRM. The final way the two tools work together is through reporting. With the two tools integrated, marketing can now track each lead they pass over, know when it closes, and even how much revenue it generated. This allows marketing to show their contribution to the bottom line. CRM and marketing automation are both powerful tools, and when combined, businesses are able to generate more leads, close them faster, and prove the value of those efforts.
Good afternoon. This is V5 Africa, and my name is Armin Wieland. I'm the founder here at V5 Digital, and a very warm welcome to all of you joining us this afternoon or this morning, depending on where you're tuning in from today. And with me on the show today is the lovely Aina Ilunga. Aina, maybe you want to say one or two words?
Hi, everybody. I'm back again. I'm just joking. Sorry. My name is Aina Ilunga. I'm here as a co-host and plus my dear friend to be here with my dear friends Timothy and Sarah. So tune in to this wonderful webinar of V5 Digital.
Super. We also have on the line Tim. Tim, maybe you can say one or two words.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Timothy Pogge. I'm the sales engineer supervisor at SharpSpring and really excited to be here this morning or afternoon for everyone else.
And we've got last but definitely not least, the lovely Sarah.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here and to talk about automation, marketing automation.
Super. All right, quickly on the agenda. We've done the intro. We are about to be done with the welcome. Then we're going to switch over to the revenue growth platform, why your business needs email marketing and marketing automation. And those of you that have seen the intro video, I think it explained it quite nicely, the connection between marketing, sales, and CRM. And in today's V5 Africa webinar, we're going to cover all of that and then some, and a little bit more. So quickly, you might have tuned in for the first time. Who's V5 Digital? This is definitely not a sales talk about us. So I'm just going to flick through the slides in terms of who's V5 Digital. Essentially, we are a full service digital marketing agency based here in Windhoek, Namibia. And we are serving customers in Namibia and across the African continent. And we are passionate about a lot of things. And one or two you can see on the screen is definitely marketing automation and CRM and email marketing. Our technology partners with whom this webinar would have not been possible is Rocketseed, the email branding platform, Salesforce, the world's #1 CRM. And again, last but definitely not least, SharpSpring from Constant Contact, the revenue growth platform with everything in one platform at an affordable price. With this, I would like to quickly hand over to Aina, who's going to take us through housekeeping.
Okay. Before we get started, let's start with housekeeping. Please use the Q&A functionality. You just press in the chat and ask your question. And I'll make sure that Sarah and Timothy get their questions, or Armin and I will answer whichever questions that you come through. But don't worry, we're not going to be picky. I will make sure everybody gets their questions answered. Also, you can stand a chance to win a V5 Digital In Digital We Trust Moleskine diary. I've got mine here. Y'all need to get this. It's the best. So hashtag V5 Digital on Twitter, and you can stand a chance to win one of those. And then now I'm going to give the floor over to Timothy and Sarah so that they can tell you about SharpSpring and all the special features that they offer.
Super. With that,
All
over
right.
to you, Sarah and Tim. I'm going to stop sharing the site. Again, if you just joined,
Sounds good.
let us know where you're from. It's really exciting to have you all on board this afternoon or this morning, depending on where you're tuning in from. And by the way, I didn't mention that, but Aina is actually joining us today from the beautiful town of Walvis Bay, which is on Namibia's west coast.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen and we'll dive in. All right. So first off, it's a pleasure to be here and thank you all again for having us. So yes, my name is Timothy Pogge. I am the sales engineer supervisor with SharpSpring. And as you guys can see, I have my colleague and a good friend of mine, Sarah Ludwig, joining us today. Sarah is the senior sales engineer with SharpSpring. And I've had the pleasure of working with her for the last 4 years now, right, Sarah?
4 years.
That's right. So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about SharpSpring's marketing automation and CRM solution. So the first thing I wanted to do was talk a little bit about our partnership with V5 Digital, as I think it's important to understand the role that V5 Digital and SharpSpring play together. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll get into a little bit about marketing automation, take a few moments to talk about some of what our solution offers. And then at the end of the presentation today, we'll take a little Q&A. All right. So let's jump in. So first thing I think it's important to understand is the partnership and why did V5 partner with SharpSpring? And really the reason is that we're specifically built as a marketing automation solution. We are specifically built around agencies. SharpSpring is recognized that while small, medium-sized businesses worldwide need a marketing automation and CRM solution that can you put them and make them competitive, they may not have all the resources to manage it. So our solution is actually built to empower agencies to help their customers find success. I've personally had the privilege of working with Armin and Aina and the V5 team for a few years now. We actually got to do this webinar a year or so ago. Aina, that was before Sarah was on my team, but Aina and I and Armin got to do that together and I had a great time.
Yes.
So I've had the opportunity to work with them for many years, either helping to implement marketing campaigns, demoing our software, and helping to strategize. So, it's a strategic partnership that makes everything work with regards to SharpSpring. And without our agencies like V5, we really wouldn't be able to be who we are today. So again, before we even dive into the rest of the webinar, I do want to thank Armin and Aina again for having us. It really is a pleasure to be here with you guys this morning.
It's always a pleasure having you here, Timothy. And Sarah.
Thank you so much. All right.
Always.
So let's talk about SharpSpring and what is marketing automation and the CRM. You guys already saw that little video that kind of gave you a quick clip, but essentially companies can use a host of tools for their businesses, such as Unbounce or Instapage for landing pages and blogs, Gravity Forms for their form builders, Zoho for their CRM, and then Calendly for their booking tool, all of which are really great tools. But the issue is that they're not natively connected, right? As we like to say at SharpSpring, they're kind of duct taped together. So they don't natively speak to one another, and this can make things difficult when issues arise. And this is really where a solution like SharpSpring steps in. With platforms like SharpSpring, we can really start to tie all of these tools together. So that provides a lot of value because you have a single contract relationship. It's easier to learn. It's one platform. Everything is connected and seamless together. And as you can see, it all starts to work better together. So when we're thinking about a solution like SharpSpring, think about the ability to take all of those tools and have them all interconnected in a native capacity. That's really where we start to provide benefit. And there's really, I like to think, 3 key benefits to marketing automation, right? So if there's nothing else that you take away, and this is something that Sarah's heard me say 1,000 times, so she's going to roll her eyes, I'm sure, but it's to help you drive leads, convert leads to sales, and ultimately understand your ROI, because we are being able to tie the end of day results, the actual closed won deals, and now tie those to the marketing efforts and campaigns that help drive those in. So yeah, I always like to say that 3 key things, right? Drive leads, convert leads, and ultimately understand ROI. So real fast, we'll go through a little kind of funnel of how this starts to work. So when we're talking about driving leads, these are some of the tools that SharpSpring can leverage to help drive those leads. So whether those are integrations with things like Facebook lead ads, whether you're tracking the campaigns with your SharpSpring's campaign feature, hosting a blog in SharpSpring in order to attract more leads, or leveraging dynamic content, all of these are tools to help kind of get those folks into the application. Then as we're getting them into the application, we can start to do that middle of the funnel work here. So that's where we're going to start to see some of our dynamic email drip sequences. You know, this webinar today is talking a lot about the email marketing component, and that is such a critical component that SharpSpring empowers. So once we have attracted those leads in, we can start to use these types of tools to help nurture those folks down the funnel, to start to track and enable you to understand who's engaging where, and to make sure that we're getting the right message to the right audience. And then once those folks have gotten down into that next stage, once we have tracked and converted those leads in, this is where we start to get in and take it to the next level. So start to get them over that finish line and to get those folks as new customers as opposed to being new leads. So without further ado, I'm going to let Sarah hop in a little bit and talk a little bit about some of our key features. And Sarah, without further ado, go right ahead. Oh, wait, first there's a poll that we're going to take here real fast. Sorry. Aina, would you like to go through the poll?
I'll quickly run through it. There's going to be
okay.
4 polls. Sorry, Aina.
The next one's mine.
4 polls. And we thought to bring this one up now fairly early, and then we're going to have 3 more, which we're going to inject throughout. And if you guys can please do us a favor, vote here, and you can just get a bit of an understanding and idea where you are sitting in terms of digital marketing and also marketing automation maturity. And if possible, Sarah and Tim will then try and pivot the presentation a little bit if possible. Okay, I'm going to end the poll and share the results.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
Right, so that a lot of companies do have processes and systems in place, but believe they could work smarter and more efficient. And then we have about a quarter of the respondents saying, to be honest, we struggle with good quality leads. So I'm going to stop sharing. Heading over to you, Sarah, and then whenever you want to take a break, we're going to launch the next poll.
All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you, Tim and Armin. So we are going to talk about some of the features of SharpSpring, and we're going to start at the top of the funnel. The first tool we're going to focus on is our social integration. SharpSpring has a native integration with Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. The social integration comes in 2 main sections, the first being content creation. And what we have in front of us is our content calendar. Our content calendar gives us the ability to review all past and upcoming social posts, as well as bulk email sends from one location. This enables visibility for the entire team and empowers them to be on the same page for easier and more powerful coordination. Now, creating a new social post is easy. On the top left-hand corner, we can click the Create option, which will give us the option to choose social. We'll then see a modal that looks like this, allowing us to choose where we'd like to post, either a single platform or a cross-platform post with a combination of the social platforms we've connected to. Next, we just add in the media, assign campaign attribution, and insert our message. Once this step is complete, you would click the Schedule Post button. Now we can schedule our post to go out immediately or for a future date and time. On the other hand, you can use our social integration to create and engage with our listening feeds. Listening feeds are what enable your team to understand how people are communicating about you and your brand. In this view, we have a live feed for our current SharpSpring partners' tweets. We can like and retweet right from this view. Notice on the left-hand side, SharpSpring has set up our view of customers to include our good friends at V5 Digital. We can also create views for Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well. Tim, back to you.
All right. So we're starting to drive leads from our social post, obviously. Oh, looks like we have another poll to take. Let's go ahead and
Tim, it's
dive
always
in.
you. It's always you, Tim. It's always you.
That's all right. I don't mind at all. It's good to break up the monotony of my voice sometimes. Ina, your turn, right? Or is this one already?
Yes. No, it's my turn, Alvin. It's
All
my
right.
turn this time. Okay, so the next question is, do you utilize email marketing in your business? So choose one of the options there. We're giving you like 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Result time, Alvin.
You guys have seen the show Jeopardy, right? Before? We should
I've
have
heard of
Jeopardy
it.
music. Oh man.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
it.
Dun,
Actually.
dun, 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 dun. Okay.
Alrighty, so it seems that the majority utilizes email marketing already, which is fantastic, and about a fifth does not, and another fifth is just getting started. So I think a nice mix of people that are kind of down the email marketing path already, and then others are just about to get started, and others are either sitting on the fence or don't know where to start. And by all means, please do reach out to us here at V5 Digital if you are amongst those 20% that are either just getting started or not started yet and you need help. By all means, we can definitely advise you on the right path to success there.
I'll even throw in a selfish plug and say reach out to V5 Digital so they can take you to the next level and get you a marketing automation solution. All right.
Perfect.
So you're driving your leads in, right? And the next thing is as we're driving those folks into, say, your website or your landing pages, how do we start to capture those leads? Well, fortunately, SharpSpring also provides forms. And in fact, we're going to talk a little bit today about some of the improvements to our forms. So SharpSpring has a number of different ways, actually, in general, to help you capture leads and data on leads. But obviously, one of the most prominent are digital forms on your website. So forms will enable you to capture any custom and system field data about a lead that has visited your website. And they're really intended to be easy to use, low code builders that enable users to build those forms out very easily. So we see here the various system and custom fields that you can enable and incorporate into your SharpSpring form, right? So again, meant to be a easy to use tool that someone who has no background in development or engineering or anything along those lines to be able to build out a form and get that launched on the website so we can start to capture those leads who are visiting. But we don't just want to be able to capture those leads let me backtrack a little bit. Going back to the ease of use, our form builder also is meant to enable you to style forms directly in the application, to make them multi-column. So it's a drag and drop interface. And again, as I said, meant to be easy to use. But it's not just about the ability to build that easy to use form. We also kind of go above and beyond just enabling you to build these forms by giving you even more powerful tools like progressive profiling. So one of those, progressive profiling, as you can see from the screenshot, enables a user to actually take fields that have been engaged in the form and actually drop them below this little line here where it says progressive profiling fields. Then you enable and you say, well, these are forms I always want to have visible, and these are ones that I don't always want to have to be visible. So as someone comes back to your website, let's say, for example, that I was on the website and I had previously given you my my email, my first name, last name, and my phone number. The next time I come to your website, SharpSpring will recognize that I'm back on the site. And rather than give the same 4 fields, first name, last name, phone number, and email, it'll now pop up the next questions in line. So what's your company name? Do you want to sign up for a live demo, etc.? So this way we can lower the barrier to entry for lead capture while also progressively updating that profile over time. And then finally, one more addition to this form builder that is very powerful is the ability to use conditional form logic. This is actually a newer feature for us. It's something that's been in the market for a long time, but we've just added it and it's been driven by our customers. Because conditional form fields enable users to add new fields to a form that are dependent on a lead's answers to a prior field. So for example, in this form, whenever a lead notes that they work for a marketing agency, you can see that we would ask the following question. Okay, well, if you work for an agency, would you like to sign up for a live demo? So you can actually start to update the questions in line based off of the prior answers that someone may have provided you. But let's say that someone comes to your website and they don't convert. What do we do about those individuals? So again, great question. SharpSpring's retargeting solution, SharpSpring Ads, starts to step in here. So again, SharpSpring Ads is our retargeting software. And first, I think the answer to the question to ask is why retargeting? Well, one thing that we know is that only about 2% of people visiting a website are actually likely to convert. So that means that the overwhelming majority of folks who are visiting the site are not converting, and that your marketing dollars that you're spending, whether that is via email drip sequences or those initial, say, LinkedIn campaigns or Facebook campaigns, you're losing a lot of that value. But we also know that those folks who have come to your site and have not converted have already at some point taken a call to action, right? They have clearly demonstrated that they have interest in what you have to offer. So those are the individuals that we want to get back in front of. So audiences need to be able to see your messages repeatedly. And these are the folks, the low-hanging fruit that we want to make sure that our brand stays in front of in order to help convert those folks. Now, what is the opportunity for businesses? Well, obviously, retargeting enables you to get back in front of those folks who've already engaged and can help tremendously in converting those folks and bringing them back to the site, right? So essentially, the way it works is that we're dropping that cookie on their device. As they browse the web, we're delivering them those advertisements in order to get them back engaged, to drive them back to your website, and ideally to help to get them to convert. SharpSpring Ads, as opposed to, say, tools like AdRoll, is powerful because it's specifically tied to the rest of our solution. Because it's part of our solution, there's a lot of benefits such as automatic campaign creation, automatic attribution in your campaigns, ties into our lead scoring, our automation engine, list segmentation, and can obviously tie directly to a lead record. Armin, do we have any more polls coming up, or should I hand it over to Sarah?
I think let's do 1 or 2.
All right, sounds good. See, I'm learning.
Fantastic. Anna, you can run with it.
Do you do campaign attribution? Okay, there's two options there. Please pick one of those. We have 10 seconds again. Cue music, Timothy. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amen. Results.
Super. All right. So you have about 60% of the respondents saying we've got no idea which 50% of our marketing budget gives us a return on investment. And
sorry, Amen, we can't see the results.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, now we can.
So we have 60% of the people that voted said we have no idea which 50% of our marketing budget gives us a return on investment. And we've got 40%, which I believe is pretty good, which say or claim we do campaign attribution and can see exactly which campaign, which channel, and which media gives us a return. So meaning they would know exactly, for instance, if they want to run a campaign and they run it across, for instance, newspaper, radio, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, etc., and maybe also email marketing, and that they would see exactly of those channels employed, where do they get their return on investment. So I think that is pretty good. I'm not sure how confident that figure is, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. And I'll be stop sharing and handing over to Sarah, unless Tim, you might want to also comment on those on the poll.
Oh yeah, no, I think I do. I am happy to see that 40% of folks here, are using campaign attribution. I think it's an incredibly important component that any business should be leveraging, is understanding which of your marketing sources are driving traffic and driving results. Again, I can throw in a selfish plug here, but that's again where when we were just looking at the SharpSpring ads, that's really one of the value adds of that, is that ability to attribute your various dollar spend. You're spending money on all of these efforts. Where those dollars, or where is that money going? So yeah, for the 60% out there that is not yet using it, again, selfish plug. Talk to Armin and team about SharpSpring, and they can help get you set up.
Super.
All right, here.
What I'm going to do, sorry, Sarah, because the next question is kind of related to the previous topic regarding SharpSpring ads. So I'm going to launch it nevertheless, meaning we don't have any more poll questions left after this one. So as a consumer, do you like messaging and ads? And we essentially gave you 4 options this time and said, as a consumer, yes, I like seeing relevant messaging and ads that talk to my needs and make my everyday life more convenient. We have one option which says, no, I hate ads altogether. And we have another option which says, I don't mind either way. We're going to give you about 5 more seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love your countdown, Tina.
Share the results. So a third says, yes, I like seeing relevant messaging and ads that talk to my needs and make my everyday convenient. I must say, very luckily, we have no, I hate ads altogether. If you are in advertising, marketing, or business development, then I think you should definitely believe in advertising and or marketing. And have about 2/3 which say, I don't mind either way. So maybe just 1 or 2 cents here from my side. So I think from my side, definitely, I love ads that are relevant, that talk to my needs and my wants in terms of my browsing behavior, etc. I absolutely hate ads which are completely irrelevant or just kind of are a one-size-fits-all, either a blast email or in social media ads if the targeting is wrong and I'm targeted for something which I'm actually either not interested per se or not interested anymore, because I might have done that purchase or purchasing decision already. And there are definitely still brands out there that keep on retargeting probably like 4 weeks after the time I bought the particular product. So I think that's just something one could do a little bit smarter as a brand. And I think that's also where the differentiator is going forward. You can do retargeting, but retargeting done right is, I would say, not a tough nut to crack, but one has to obviously do it correctly, not to irritate the consumer or the potential consumer or customer. Yep. And at the same time, maybe even more important, not to waste your marketing dollars on retargeting, which will actually have the opposite effect.
Yeah, that's why conversion tracking is so important, is understanding who's already made a purchase, setting up things like your look back window, making sure that someone's not staying in your retargeting advertising too long.
Exactly.
But yeah, 100% right. I do like to be targeted with information that is more specific to me, but also as Armin, you were just noting, it's kind of frustrating when it's 3, 4, 5 weeks after I've already made a purchasing decision and I'm still getting targeted with those ads. So
For
it's
the
definitely
same
a balance to find. Yeah, it's definitely a
I'm
balance.
like, you already got me. I have it right here. Why do I need this marketing? Use something else. Give me a coupon, something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when I talked about attribution and all those components, that actually really leads up into this next section that Sarah's going to talk about, which is the contact record. So I'll stop talking because Sarah's being very patient with me, letting me chatter on, and hand it back over to Sarah.
Thanks, Tim. This does tie in really well. We've got our social posting, we've got our retargeting, we've got our forms, we've got all these mechanisms early in the funnel to convert our leads. And what happens when they do convert is they become a lead record in SharpSpring. So the next feature we want to take a moment to review is that contact record. I like to think of it as the modern workstation. We have left spreadsheets, missed opportunities, and sticky notes behind.
Sticky notes, Armin.
Now we have a new source of truth. From the contact record, we have easy access to all of our data. We can see the lead source, owner, and status. We can click through to any of the automatically connected social profiles or send a link to a Zoom meeting. Within the contact record, there are a few key areas to explore. Our overview tab, which is where we are now, holds our system fields, general information, and the activity feed, as well as our buyer persona and lead score. You can add notes, log calls, and send emails, create tasks, all from the overview tab directly. Next, we're going to take a look at our custom fields. SharpSpring comes with the ability to create an unlimited quantity of custom fields at the lead level. These fields represent unique data points meaningful to your funnel. They can act as catalysts for automation and segmentation. They can drive personalization through content. We'll look at personalizing and automating shortly, but next up, we're going to take a peek at that life of the lead. Our life of the lead, which we're looking at now, is the ultimate tool in SharpSpring to visualize a customer's journey. Our life of the lead contains each engagement and contact point that you had with your prospective clients as you nurture them from your top of funnel to the bottom of your funnel. We'll see things like form fills, media engagement, one-to-one communication from your synced email addresses, marketing emails that have been sent and engaged with, web visits, meetings, missed opportunities, and more. By looking at this narrative journey each lead goes through, the life of the lead empowers your team to understand each relationship and have truly meaningful conversations that meet your leads exactly where they are. In fact, we can often even capture engagement on social media. This allows your team to see cross-channel engagement with you and your brand. So finally, we're going to take a little jump to our membership tab, which will give you a more consolidated, data-driven view of the collateral your lead has engaged with, rather than showing each point in their journey as they experienced it. Through the membership tab, we can drill down with each tile to see all of the emails a lead has been sent, lists they're on, or automations they've engaged with, among other things. When it comes to measuring attribution, which we have that beautiful poll on, we talked about a little bit before, and its direct impact on our sales, we use campaigns. What marketing efforts are driving new leads into our funnel? What marketing efforts are driving revenue being generated? In the memberships tab, we have the ability to see all of the touch points that can be attributed to this lead, giving us true insight into their connection with us.
I'm going to take a quick second and just note what I love on this screen. This was actually a screenshot from a lead record from the V5 team's environment. And I love that you guys are using campaigns. I really think that it's important to hone in on the value that campaigns bring in a solution like SharpSpring. Campaigns in our world enable us to trigger automations, they enable list segmentation, and then obviously that attribution and ROI reporting. So whenever I see a SharpSpring customer or partner using campaigns, I get really excited because I feel like it's something that so many folks don't utilize properly. So a hat tip, Armin and team, because I love to see this. And when you guys sent us the record to look at for this, I was really excited to see that you were actually leveraging these. All right, sorry, I'll stop talking and back over to Sarah.
Oh no,
Our pleasure.
I agree.
Thanks, Tim, for the shout out. And at the same time, big shout out also to Colleen and the PPS team, which are joining us this afternoon. So PPS is a niche insurer on the high end side, and it's great to have the PPS team joining us this afternoon. And thanks again, Colleen, for playing along, and that we could use your Life of the Lead record, because I think Colleen is a great consumer as such.
Example. Mm-hmm.
You know, she does open the emails, she does subscribe to things, she fills in forms, and as such, it's a great way to show off what is SharpSpring all about. And obviously, because we do business with PPS, there's also a way to actually show that we not only email marketing to Colleen and the team, but we also do a bit of business with the PPS team, and we're actually converting that lead, which is Colleen, to a sale, which is great. Over to you. Over to you, Sarah.
Yes, thank you. I was poring over that lead record earlier, and it was a very beautiful one, totally fleshed out. Honestly,
my favorite part.
Yeah, rivals are examples. It was a true joy to work with. All right. So when we've got our leads and when we're looking at all those engagement touch points in the life of the lead, how are we communicating with them? One of the big ways is through email. Our goal when we're creating our emails is to send the right message to the right person at the right time. We use merge variables to reflect granular information back to the recipient and dynamic content to change sections of the email based on rules we can create to reflect segments of our audience. We can add clear call to action so that our leads are more likely to convert. And we do it all from within SharpSpring's WYSIWYG, stands for what you see is what you get, drag and drop builder. Now, sending these emails is also a breeze. Our content calendar, which we looked at a few minutes ago, will allow us to schedule our email to send to lists of leads either ASAP or at a point in time in the future. If necessary, we can also exclude members of certain lists from receiving the emails we're currently scheduling. Next, we're going to take a peek at another of the mechanisms in SharpSpring that will allow us to automate sends, which is the automation engine. We're going to take a look behind the curtain at what drives SharpSpring's power in regards to the automation engine. So SharpSpring has a comprehensive automation engine comprised of 4 main components: triggers, filters, time delays, and actions. Our triggers, like the one above, act as an initiation point in our passive automations, which we call visual workflows. In our example, we're triggering with a form fill, but we could just as easy trigger with a change to any of the custom fields we looked at earlier, or engagements we would see in our life of the lead. When a trigger fires, a lead is entered into the automation sequence below. We've added filters to this example so that a lead would either end up on the sales ready branch or the email nurture branch. I've gone ahead and expanded the filters on the right so that you can see how the automation will place leads on either branch. On the left, we'll funnel our sales ready leads who have a lead score over a certain value or have visited a page a certain number of times. On the right, We'll place our leads with a lead score below a certain threshold who have not visited that page a certain number of times on a nurture campaign to warm them up organically. To recap, a lead has filled out the form to trigger into our workflow and met one of two filtering conditions, placing them on a path. The path on the left is for our harder leads. If a lead ends up on this branch, their record will reflect their qualified status. They will be added to a hot leads list. They'll get a lead owner who will receive a notification as well as a series of tasks prompting their upcoming sales activities. For our leads who aren't quite so scalding, they will be placed on the email nurture path. They will receive an email, and 2 days later, the automation engine will check using yes/no logic whether or not the lead has opened the email to determine what path they're entered on next. This logic, illustrated on the right, could just as easily be whether they have clicked the email or used virtually any of the information we saw on the lead record to determine which path to communicate on. We'd even use that campaign we took a peek at. The beauty of the sequence and sequences like it is that we are using the information someone has given us along with the actions they've taken to make sure we are always having the right conversation at the right time. Our ultimate goal is to meet people where they are and provide relevant value. Tim?
So I want to recap a little bit of what we've talked about because, it's easy to look at all this and be like, oh, feature. But what's important to understand about all this is how these all tie together. When we talked about those custom fields at the contact record, when we talked about the form captures, when we talked about web tracking, all of these things really start to tie into that automation engine, right? So again, I want you guys to think about this from that comprehensive level of helping to drive those leads and all these tools working together to help accomplish that goal. Because ultimately what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get them into the sales pipeline, which just so happens to be the next part of the presentation. So, we've made it. We finally get to see the sales opportunities that are being created from all of these marketing efforts and be able to start to manage those. So SharpSpring enables our users to create sales pipelines within our CRM, obviously, and you can create as many pipelines as you like. And when I say the opportunity, that's a term that we use to refer to any chance to sell a product or service. But as we can see here, each pipeline has multiple stages. So for those of you who may not be using a CRM, I encourage you, regardless if it's SharpSpring or not, get one because it helps you better organize both your contacts and your leads, but also organize the various sales opportunities that you and a sales team are working through. So this is more of a Kanban style page that enables you to go through and understand each stage of your process and which sales opportunities are in which section. Obviously, after we have looked at our opportunities, we're going to take a quick peek to see what those opportunities will contain. So we'll have things like your opportunity card, which will include all of your system and custom fields. You'll have things like the contact component, which enables you to take a look at all the contacts that are associated with the opportunity, as well as the communication tab, which gives you quick insight into all the back and forth that you've had with this specific lead or contact. And then finally, your notes, so that you can make sure that all the conversations you're having with them and the next steps are all properly contained here. And again, this should ultimately help you to be better organized and to get to the final component, which is new customers, and then be able to start to understand your ROI and get insight into ROI. And that's where SharpSpring's reporting really starts to come together. So we have robust reporting tools that enable all of our partners and clients to report on things like your total sales, sales won, sales lost, total revenue, and then again, tie that back to the campaigns, right? We want to see how our campaigns helping to contribute to those new customers. So There are a couple other things that I'd like to get into, but we have limited time today, so we are going to go ahead and open up for any questions. But before we do so, a couple of things that we're working on our roadmap, just kind of gin up a little excitement. And this is something, Armin, you guys may not even be aware of, but we are going to be adding some account-based automations to our software in the coming months. So you can actually use that automation engine that Sarah walked through to start to automatically update account information. We're going to start to, we're rolling out some account-based reporting. So you can actually report on how the accounts, not just the leads, but the accounts are performing. We're going to be working on some sales management reporting tools to better round out those sales tools. So we have a lot in the funnel. We're really excited to be rolling out in the next month or so. But let's go ahead and open up the floor to questions. Or Armin and Ina, anything from your side that you guys would like us to cover before we open up the floor to questions?
Something I would just like to say, and maybe reiterate to everybody in the webinar right now, is that like with SharpSpring, it's really amazing that if one of you are currently not present, for example, let's say Timothy's gone on holiday to Jamaica for the next 3 weeks, you'll be able to still see. You'll be able to see where Timothy left off with any of his clients. So it's not about like, oh my gosh, ruffling around looking for, what did he say to the client? What did he say this? This communication with the client is on SharpSpring, and you can see every point of contact that you had with the client. And that is a feature which I felt was absolutely amazing, because Armin would be like, okay, I'm quickly going to the farm. And then I'm like, okay, good, I got this, because I know where he last left off when he last spoke to the client, and from what campaign actually this client came from. So it's actually really good information that SharpSpring really provides its clients. And I think that for me is a great, in terms of customer relationship management, you know, your client knows there's still going to be continuity regardless of if somebody leaves or comes back or does, you know, life gets in the way.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, you know, that's really a good point. And, you know, I'm biased. I work for SharpSpring. I've been with the company for a long time. So I've got a little bias going on. But regardless of which CRM you choose to leverage and which marketing automation tool you choose to leverage, what Ina just said is so true. The value of being able to have kind of that central source of truth that contains all the communication, all the notes, next steps. That is such a critical component to businesses, right? Like that is so important to your business to help all of your team members stay on the same page. Now, obviously, I would love for you guys all to come and check out SharpSpring, but regardless of what solution you use, I do recommend it because it is so powerful and really important to helping make sure that everybody stays on the same page.
And SharpSpring is really user-friendly, you guys. It's not rocket science. You literally click and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. So it's not one of those technologies where it stresses you out, actually. It's super easy it's user-friendly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Super.
All right. So go ahead, Armin.
Yeah, no, thanks. That was a great comment, Ina. And you do know that I'm off to the farm every now and then, and that's exactly what it is, because you know, with MailSync enabled, you know, the sales side can definitely see, you know, what has been happening on the lead, what has been happening on the price negotiation, and that person that is kind of taking over. And it could be an unplanned lead for whatever reason, and
exactly.
Very easy, you know, take over, see, you know, what's been happening, what has been discussed, you know, what kind of offers have been made. Are they waiting or vice versa? So that's really a great feature of the platform. Obviously, one has to have the MailSync enabled, which we do for ourselves and also do for our clients. Yeah, no, that's definitely a great feature. So those of you, I don't see questions on the Q&A as yet. So I'm going to just maybe just talk through one or two things. So if you're shy or all that, please do come forward with your questions. Again, there's no.
We don't bite. We don't bite.
Exactly. There's nothing as a stupid question. So even if you
exactly
just starting out in email marketing or just starting out on marketing automation, and you've got a good question. It can be also not so good question. Just ask it. Nevertheless, we'll answer. And maybe one feature while we're waiting for questions to roll in, and plus we also almost time up. I think we said we want to keep people till about 5 to 1 local time, or 5 to 7 in Gainesville, Florida in the morning. So we've got about 2 or 3 minutes left. And
don't remind me that it's so early.
Okay.
Maybe one question which we sometimes do get, because people definitely love the retargeting and the SharpSpring ads option of SharpSpring, and they might be using another CRM or another marketing automation tool already. Is it possible to use SharpSpring ads only without having to, buy the full solution? Or kind of, obviously they would work best together hand in hand with everything in one platform from a tracking point of view. But I guess my question, and sorry for putting you guys on the spot here, Sarah and Tim, is it possible to use SharpSpring ads out of the box without having the full SharpSpring CRM and marketing automation suite deployed?
Yeah, that's a great question. Sarah, you want to take that one?
Sure. Yes, it is absolutely possible. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, absolutely. You can certainly use it. Now, if you're using it with all the other tools, you get some of the yummier features. You have the ability to retarget to list. You're going to see those conversion clicks in your life of the lead. You're going to be able to segment and automate based off of folks taking those actions. But if you're just getting started and you simply want to retarget, that's absolutely possible standalone.
Super. I think that's fantastic news, because from experience, we know that the SharpSpring ads and the retargeting feature is extremely powerful. But as mentioned, there might be a client that has a tool already in place, and then it's always a bit of a hard sell to convince them. No, you need to throw everything away. Start even with SharpSpring also on your CRM side, and that might be just too much for a potential client. So it's great that you guys do offer that feature. Yeah, so with that, I don't see any more questions, Aina, from your side. I see there's nothing in. Jürgen, which is our great co-host today. Jürgen, thanks for all your work, and also to Jonathan out there. You guys have been amazing.
Shout out to Jürgen for being behind the scenes doing all the heavy lifting that no one gets to see. So thank you, Jürgen.
Exactly. So with that, I just wanted to give you a bit of a heads up in terms of what's around the corner. So our next V5 Africa is on 16th of November, and it will be the last V5 Africa for 2022. Don't stress, there's going to be many more in 2023. And I must say, we are very proud of our V5 Africa performance this year. It's our 9th webinar so far this year. So in November, it will be the 10th. So we're really going back to back in terms of the V5 Africa webinars. We're having a lot of fun with it. And so do our lovely audience and delegates like you today. We believe it's really adding value to, just to the digital literacy, not only in Namibia, but also across the African continent. And obviously also having, speakers from around the world on the platform, which is really, it really excites us, and it's great. And it's good to have a variety of topics in, etc. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our next keynote speaker, Musa Kalenga. So Musa has been with Facebook Africa before. He is currently essentially on his own, having his own company. And the topic will be Act Like a Human, Think Like a Brand. So very excited for this one on 16th of November. Registrations will start soon, in fact, by Friday. So by Friday, you will also get your recording by 12 noon in your inbox. And with that, at the same time, you will have the opportunity to be one of the first to sign up for this great webinar with Musa Kalenga. Musa, if you don't know, he's originally from Zambia, but living in Johannesburg, South Africa. And yeah, really an amazing person. I've met him personally a few years ago when he was up here in Namibia. And obviously, we've been chatting last year, and he's also been one of our keynote speakers last year. And yeah, I would say this is a great one to end of the 2022, and would really encourage you and your team members to register for that one, because I think Musa always has a special edge. Not that Tim and Sarah don't have an edge, so by all means.
No, y'all got the edge, but at least y'all don't need to wake up at 7 a.m. We'll send you the recording.
And just, I think also from an outlook and from just bringing so much positive vibes to to digital and the opportunities, more from an African perspective, which is also great. So really looking forward to that one. It is just before 1 p.m. local time. At this point in time, I would just like to thank the lovely core team, which had to do with with this webinar. Also to Aina, who kind of jumped in at the last minute and had like a special guest appearance. Aina, it was lovely to have you back, and maybe we can do that again.
I had to come back for Timothy. Timothy, we go way back. We go way back.
Yeah.
Sarah, and now we're gonna go way back. Don't worry.
We're gonna go way back.
Yes.
Super. Now it was really great, Sarah. Also, great meeting you. Great to have you on board. Thanks for bringing all your all your knowledge and insights to V5 Africa. And Tim, always a pleasure working with you and your team. And yeah, to our lovely audience and delegates, you've been fantastic. And thanks for everything. And over and out. This was V5 Africa. Thank you.